Hey everybody, thank you for stopping by J2 Comics and Cards. Today's video, we're going to talk about tips for getting started with collecting comic books. And if you were collecting comic books when you were younger, or for some reason you stopped collecting comic books, how do you get back into collecting comics again? Before we jump into our topics, I do want to share with you one of the styles of comic books that I like to collect. So when I'm collecting comic books, I either go after a particular character, a story, maybe a group of characters, or an artist. So the books I want to highlight before we get into our topic are known as design variants. Now, the unique thing about the design variants, as I mentioned in some other videos, I'm an artist myself, and so I have a great appreciation for the artwork and the artists who create the comic books. And so one of my favorite variants that I like to collect are known as design variant. And if you'll notice behind me, I have two design variants here that you can actually see. Now, the cool thing about the design variant is the designer, the artist for that particular cover, are giving you an inside look into their thought process. So they're letting you see some of their pencil drawings or ideas before the final character or accessories are actually created. I'm going to show you some books and you'll get an understanding of what I'm talking about. So here's an amazing Spider-Man. This is version 18, and you can see that these are just pencil drawings on printed graph paper. So this is the artist showing you what the character in the book looked like when they initially drew or sketched it out. Now, these particular variants are generally either they're a 1 in 10 or 1 in 25, which means, if it's a 1 in 25, that means a store would have to purchase at least 25 books in order to get access to this one variant. So this is one example of a design variant. I'll save my favorite one for last. Here's another Amazing Spider-Man. This is Amazing Spider-Man 17 design variant. So again, you can see the character that they drew using pencil first. Now when you go in the book, you can actually see it. Now, this particular cover is Fantastic Four 43. They're giving you some drawings. You can see here on the side, there's some drawings here in pencil. And then they give you probably one of the variation characters that they inked. So the first stage in drawing is you always sketch out your ideas or your design elements first. And then you take those ideas and you start pen and ink. You start inking with the color. Now, these are the beginning stages of character design before you actually get to printing. So nothing is printed until the designs have been fleshed out, the proportions have been fleshed out, color palette has been fleshed out, and then there's a number of steps it goes through in order to do that. Now, this next variant, again, it's a design variant, but they take it a step further. All right. Now, if you'll notice in this particular variant, they're giving you samples of the suit. So this is all hand drawn. And then in this stage, they're actually doing pen and ink. So they're giving you samples of, these are known as swatches. So these would be swatches of patterns or fabric that the character would actually have in their costume. And now you can see some studies done of the different facial expressions of the actual character. Now, as an artist, I have a great appreciation for these. I know what they mean. Whenever I see a design variant, I pick them up. I even ask my comic book shop to put them on hold. Sometimes I'll even order them because of appreciation for the art and the process of character design, comic book design. I think they're just cool to have. This is one of my favorite ones. This is the Hulk. This is issue 1. This is again a design variant, and with this particular one, you can see the graph paper a little bit in the background. This is now probably the next. This is definitely pen and ink. the concept at this point has already been final and approved, and they've already chosen their color palette. And so now they're showing you some of the armory and accessories that Hulk will have once the story is being told, and kind of a preview of what you'll see in the comic book. Those are some things that interest me in collecting comic books and the hobby in general. I would say find some things that interest you when you're collecting comic books, and go after. That's a good place to start, is to find things that you like. Start with maybe a particular character. If you grew up with Spider-Man, or if you grew up with the Avengers or X-Men, or any of those, start there. That's a good place to start. If there was a particular book that you used to have and you no longer have it, maybe go to your comic book store, see if you can find that comic book, and that could be the beginning of you re-entering the hobby. But tip number 1, find something that you like. Tip number 2, don't pressure yourself to have to buy everything. I have some videos that kind of talk about going down rabbit holes, and but try to do your spending on a budget, right? So start slow, find what works for your budget, and then build out your collection. Getting back into it, build it out based on your budget, right? The next tip would be, do you like a particular artist, all right, or a particular variant? That could also be another idea for looking into that particular book. So there's artists that I really like, and such as I like David Nakayama. So DNA, he writes DNA on some of his covers. I have quite a few of his books. So that's another way to kind of nail down like what you're looking for. So I hope this video has been helpful. I'll come back and do some more videos on collections and types of variants. If it has been helpful, I would like to know, what are some of the things that you're considering collecting? Maybe leave it in the comment section. Please leave it in the comment section. Let me know what you're looking for, what you're planning to collect. What's your favorite book, if you have a favorite book or a favorite character? My favorite character is Iron Man, and my favorite group to collect is Avengers. So one of the things that I collect the most of, or at least I try to, is Bronze Age Avengers. And so whenever I can get my hands on Bronze Age Avengers, I'm ready to see if it's even possible to add that to the collection. So start thinking about that. Please leave it in the comments if you have any questions, and if you haven't already subscribed, we would appreciate it if you please subscribe. All right, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you later.